Uh, I don't have much charge left on my phone, so I want to make a small video. What if thoughts are real things? I was thinking this yesterday. Um, I want to talk about my sexual history. I find I want to talk about it more than a lot of people. For me, it's because sexual morality is so important to me. But I find a lot of people are uncomfortable. So instead of talking to other people about it, instead of imposing on others what I want to talk about, why not write it in a book? Then people who are interested can read it, and those who aren't don't have to. And yesterday, I've been thinking about this over the course of, a few years. I mean, I think everyone thinks about writing a book at some point in their life. Maybe I should, maybe I have something to say. They think about it. Well, in recent years, that has molded into an actual inspiration to write a book about this particular topic. I think it would be meaningful. I think it would be important. But yesterday, I was asking myself, what are things that I'm passionate about? Hey, just making a video, don't mind. What are things that I'm passionate about? And, is writing this book really something that I'm passionate about? And whereas before, I was, thinking it was a really good idea, suddenly, I thought there are other things that perhaps I could be doing. And the thought, the aspiration, so actually it melted, let's say that. So I don't know if there's a better word for it, but it kind of collapsed in on itself. And I realized that one reason why, I'm kind of like this jack of all trades as far as my aspirations. I don't really go for many things, but I always dream and daydream about going for things. I have many friends like this and know many people like this. But what I found was one thing holding me back, one thing that keeps me from doing anything is that once I start one thing, I think, should I really be doing this? Shouldn't I be doing one of the many other aspirations that I have instead of this one thing that I'm doing? And it's like all these things that it's a jumble in my mind, all the things I want to do. Making a film, pursuing a career in counseling, writing a book about my sexual history, writing a book about my religious ideas, all kinds of things that I think about doing. And it's a jumble. And what I realized yesterday was one reason I hold on to so many things is that I feel like if I've started thinking about it, if I've started telling people that I want to do it, then I need to perform on that. I need to do it. If I've thought about it, I need to do it. So there's this anxiety about getting it done. And if I don't get it done, then I'm worthless as a human being. I have no value. I am, feelings like that. Pretty harsh feelings. I'm telling you these things, and I might sound small, but these feelings are crushing. They crush me. This feeling that I'm worthless, that I have no value. I can't do anything. I see all these other people in the world that are going for what they feel is right, and me, I'm not one of those people. I just do a regular 9-to-5 job, That's all I'm good for. That's the feeling, and that's, at least for me, that's crushing. But when I saw that I don't need to hold on to something, just because I've thought about it doesn't mean I have to do it. There's no pressure on me. And admittedly, I still feel some pressure. It's not like it's all gone, but there was the littlest bit of like a release of the pressure. Like the valve was toggled and opened ever so much. And I felt the thought construction of building, of pursuing the project of writing a book and, printing it and releasing it and trying to get people to read it, or at least, telling people that it's available. That crumbled. And it was a good feeling. I felt freed. I felt, instead of pressuring myself to get something like that done, I can let things happen. I can trust myself to get to a spot where whatever I want to be doing, God will help me get there. God will walk with me. God will hold my hand. And God will, it's more than that. It's also like a trust that I will discover what I want to do. And at some point, even though I'm not acting now, I don't feel like I'm acting very much in the direction of my goals and my hopes and my dreams and everything else. But maybe at some point I will. Maybe at some point, the dam will break, and there'll be this wash, and I'll start letting myself believe in myself and believe in these things I want to do. So basically what I'm talking about now is I have this trouble with finding out what my desire is. But really the point of this video is how I realized that thought construction was there. And I realized it was there because I felt it crumble. It crumbled from this thing that I had to do because I thought of it, to something that could definitely happen when I get around to it, in the sense of when I, decide without worry that I can definitely do this, and why not try? Why not sit at the table and start typing? And that feeling was not as bad as this pressure to do it that I have for myself with so many things. And so at that point, I posited, I don't want to say that I posited because it was a reality for me, that thoughts are things. Thoughts are things like trees, are things like my hand is a thing, my arm connected to my hand is a thing, they're just attached, which is connected to the rest of my body, which is also a thing. We have this reality around us, and we have the physical attribute of things, and we're quick to describe things and call these physical things. But I don't think that we very often attribute the reality to something such as a thought. Now, what is a thought? How can it be a thing? Is it something that you can view? Perhaps it's not something that you can view with your physical eyes. Perhaps it's not something that you can, if it's true that telepathy exists, then you could possibly hear it. But even then, is it a thing? Is it a thing like a tree is a thing? Is it a thing like the human body is a thing? Like an animal is a thing? Like a cat is a thing? Well, I would like to play with the idea that it is perhaps a thing. To me, yesterday it felt very true that it is a thing. And why is that important? I'm not going to attempt to explain that to you right now, because I've already gone longer than I thought I would. But suffice it to say that I think it's extraordinarily important. Because imagine if you could put this thing, a thought, in another person. Imagine if you can repeat a thing, a thought, so many times that they could be pressured into thinking it. But then I think also that no one accepts anything without their own will. And now I just started another tangent, so I'm going to stop myself and I'm going to end it there. Thanks for watching.